it going, guys? Okay, everyone, welcome back to Kelsey Sharon Perspective. I'm doing live today where I'm recording this live, and I'm also recording this on the Kelsey Sharon Perspective. And what I wanted to do and change it up a little bit is I have started writing on Substack, and I'm so grateful for those that have subscribed. If you haven't, please go over to Substack. You can subscribe for free. You don't have to do the paid stuff. It does help us all ultimately, and it helps us spread our messages. And it also, now that I'm writing more, helps me as an independent journalist, if you will. But I wanted to take some time because I know that not everybody has the time to sit down and read some of the stuff that I'm writing on when it comes to MAID. So what I thought I would do is I would sit down and I would record some episodes where I actually read some of these Substack articles for you so that you guys can listen to them when you're driving and that you guys can participate in what I'm doing in a different way. So let's get right into it. I have been attacked by Dying with Dignity now publicly since doing the Jordan Peterson interview last year. Since then, I have done one on trigonometry that's hit well over 1 million views on YouTube, and that's not including audio, which has been really incredible. And I'm super grateful for that experience and that opportunity with Constantine Kissin and Francis Foster and those who have been willing to have these conversations. So let's get right into this. I did a rebuttal piece called The War on Truth, Fighting for Real Solutions to PTSD and Mental Illness. A recent article dismissed my conversation with Jordan Peterson as misinformation on a grand scale, yet it failed to present an honest, balanced argument about the real crisis in mental health treatment today. While the article cites my appearance on the horrific truth behind MAID, they aren't telling you, as misinformation or a misinformation riddled video, the reality is that this information that I provided is not only based on evidence, research, and lived experience. So in no way, shape, or form can they negate my lived experience, nor can they negate the physical evidence that we not only have from Dr. Joel Zivit in the Senate of Canada, but now evidence from Canada as well. And we took a look not only at Canada, but the very first autopsy of Alicia Duncan's mother, which proved that the Canadian drugs used in MAID kits are no different than the drugs being used in lethal injection patients in the prison systems in America. It's been resonating with over millions of people. That one clip alone has 1.6 million views right now, because the truth is the facts don't lie. No matter how comfortable or uncomfortable they may be, let's be real. I have a brain injury, and I have been honest, and I made mistakes when citing stats, but I have corrected them. And the reason that this conversation is still up is because at the core truth, it remains unchanged. And yet, instead of engaging with the facts, people like Dying with Dignity trolls have been attacking me personally. I'm a combat veteran with a traumatic brain injury, diagnosed with PTSD in Afghanistan in 2009, and I am 100% disabled. People like Dying with Dignity and critics weaponize my disability to discredit the truth rather than engaging with the facts. If my injuries were visible, would they still mock me the same way? Because this isn't journalism. This is a failure to confront the real issue, a broken system. A broken system that has been failing those who need help. And that right there, my friends, is cowardice. Picking apart mistakes that I've already acknowledged, as if my injury makes me entitled to any different argument or making it invalid. There is a war on truth that is happening right now, and the casualties are people who really need help. Instead of being given solutions, they're being offered a death sentence under the guise of compassion. And the reality of PTSD and alternate treatments are available. That article highlighted that I'm speaking about right now in Maclean's magazine and otherwise, this article that I'm speaking to highlights two tragic cases. One of Claire, who endured years of ineffective treatment before considering MAID, and John Scully, a war correspondent subjected to 19 rounds of ECT, electroshock therapy. And he's on 30 pills a day, yet he is still suffering. And he's suffering because this individual has been left by society. This individual has not been given a real chance to heal. He has been given opportunities to shut his brain down and pills to numb his body, a lack of community and a lack of purpose and a lack of real health care. He doesn't need death. He needs people that genuinely care. So let's talk about psychedelic assisted therapy, for example, because it has shown not only anecdotally in my life, but in clinical studies to have profound effects on people who are suffering from PTSD, depression, and other mental illnesses. MDMA assisted therapy is currently in FDA trials. So let me ask you this. Why is it that the drugs that we use to MAID people are not FDA approved, yet they are allowed to be used? But the things that are going through FDA approval trials are still not allowed to be used, even in set settings with a healthcare practitioner like psychedelic assisted therapy. The FDA trials are boasting an astonishing success rate in reducing PTSD symptoms. Psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, has demonstrated the ability to help individuals process trauma in ways that traditional antidepressants never could. Yet, these solutions are ignored, or worse, they're dismissed as dangerous. While we continue to over-medicate people and subject them to outdated, ineffective treatments like Scully went through, I was also over-medicated, and I was also offered electroshock therapy even before being considered for alternative treatments. Okay? That's the point you need to understand. They were offering electroshock therapy and pharmaceutical intervention before they would allow something like magic mushrooms. So what's the difference? The difference between Scully and myself is I fought for access to therapies that actually work. Psychedelic assisted therapy, trauma healing, and somatic work changed my entire life. And it provided that healing that I know is possible when you're given the right tools. Declaring a condition irremediable while suppressing promising treatments is premature and frankly dangerous. The fact that Scully endured 19 rounds of electroshock therapy without getting access to MDMA or psilocybin therapy is not only a systemic failure, it is a massive failure on his family and those around him. Not proof that he was beyond saving. And since personally experiencing profound healing from psychedelic assisted therapy, I became a certified psychedelic integration coach and somatic breathwork practitioner because I understand that this stuff actually works. So let's talk about the dark reality of electroconvulsive therapy, electroshock therapy, if you will. It's horrific. It's outdated. And when I was offered ECT, I was absolutely disgusted. I was heartbroken and in shock. Was this the best that the system had to offer me? Before they would even consider giving me access to psilocybin, ECT is often described as a last resort treatment, and it involves sending electrical currents through the brain to induce a seizure. Does anybody hear that? They would rather shock my brain into a seizure, knowing I had a traumatic brain injury, than to just give me access to medical mushrooms. Those who are claiming that it provides relief, well, the side effects are monumental: memory loss, cognitive impairment, and in some cases, permanent brain damage. They are severe. And if we are truly looking for ways to help people, why are we still resorting to treatment that was first used in the 1930s and that has been widely criticized for its potential harms? The same can be said for the pharmaceutical industry's grip on mental health. Instead of addressing the root causes, doctors are prescribing medications that often create dependency, mask symptoms, and introduce a laundry list of side effects. I know this firsthand. I was handed over 11 pills after returning from combat. Antidepressants, anti-anxiety meds, sleep meds, mood stabilizers, and not a single one of those healed me. They dulled me, disconnected me from my own life, and nearly led me down the same dark path that so many others have found themselves in. Because medical assistance in dying is not a slippery slope. It's a fucking cliff. And it's perhaps the most disturbing part of the original article that they went after me for in Maclean's magazine was discussing MAID for individuals suffering from mental illness. What started as a policy for terminally ill patients with no hope of recovery has now been expanded to include those people with psychiatric disorders. And this is absolutely terrifying. Instead of offering innovative and effective treatments, we are giving up on people and we are fast tracking them to death in euthanasia. because suicidal ideation is a symptom of mental illness, not the reason to end life. People who attempt suicide often express relief when they've survived it. So when they attempt it and they survive, they're saying that they feel relief because they didn't actually want to die, but they just wanted their pain to stop, not to end their life. So the idea that we would offer death as a solution instead of truly transformative therapies like psychedelic assisted therapy in healing is beyond irresponsible. It's an indictment of a system that has lost its way. It is a symptom of a sick society. And if you think that this is just some abstract policy debate, I want you to think again. Because right now, a veteran who fought for his country is being left to literally fucking die because nobody is fighting for him. So where are all of these so-called mental health advocates when it comes to him? He's putting his life on the line for the country, and now his country is offering to euthanize him instead of real treatment. And if that doesn't disgust you, I really don't know what will. Because let's be honest with ourselves. The mental health crisis is real and it is destroying lives. But the answer is not more of the same, because that is the definable definition of crazy, is to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So it's time that we challenge the outdated pharmaceutical heavy, one-size-fits-all approach to mental health treatment. And as somebody who has been to war, I can tell you this. The fight for better mental health care is just as important as any battlefield that I faced. People deserve real hope. They deserve options that work. They deserve a future free from the chains of ineffective treatments and hopeless narratives. If that makes some of you uncomfortable, so be it. But we cannot allow for this truth to be buried under the weight of misinformation that keeps getting trapped in a broken system. It's time to demand solutions. And brought to you by Ketone IQ. If you guys have not heard or seen me drinking these little bottles right here, you have been missing out. These guys right here are single-handedly the biggest part of my routine. Outside of the functional mushrooms, the movement, the sleep, the hydration, Ketone IQ is a #1 most important tool that I use in my toolbox. And let me tell you why. If you guys have never experienced runner's high, give this a try. That flow state, it is for real. Ketones are a uniquely powerful macronutrient that can cross the blood-brain barrier, and they increase the brain energy efficiency. And every time you take a Ketone IQ, you're going to notice the radical boost in performance, endurance, and just focus in general. For me, I use this when I road bike, when I run. As a mother, instead of using caffeine after 12 o'clock, I go and grab a ketone. More importantly, I use it before I podcast, before I do keynotes or anything important in my life. You will see a ketone in my bag, on the table, or anywhere near me. So do yourself a favor. Once you're done listening to this awesome episode of the Kelsey Sharon Perspective, go on over to the website partner.ketone.com/Kelsey. You're going to save, go grab yourself a subscription so you never miss out and you always have the energy you need. Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Good Living. I am so excited to tell you about something that's become such a meaningful part of my wellness routine, Good Living. Now, this isn't any brand. This is actually a brand I know all of the owners behind. And let me tell you, their integrity, their dedication, and their quality is the real deal. Their microdosing and functional blends are crafted with intention, and you can feel it. Everything is tested and made to support you in tapping into your own rhythm. We're talking about blends for anxiety, depression and stress, ADHD, brain health, inflammation, sleep, and energy. Seriously, they have thought of everything possible. I know firsthand how much love they pour into every single product. So if you're ready to check them out and explore more, go to itsgoodliving.com. And trust me, it's a journey worth taking. That's itsgoodliving.com, itsgoodlivin.com. And make sure to use the code BRASS and get 20% off your first order today. And brought to you by XXXY Athletics. You guys can check them out at xx-xyathletics.com and make sure you use the code Kelsey 20 that will help you save. I'm so excited to be a new ambassador of XXXY. I absolutely love what they stand for, and I'm proud to work with them because they are founded on truth, dedication to quality, and they are built for style and performance. Women deserve the opportunities that sports and single sex spaces provide because sex matters at the end of the day. It is the single biggest determinant of athletic performance. And it's completely unfair and dangerous, as most of you know, to allow males who are XY chromosome to compete with girls and women who are XX in sports. You guys can share your stories just by doing the hashtag workout speak out. Tag myself, Kelsey_Sharon, and the XX_XY athletics on Instagram, and we will share everything. We need to get fit and speak our minds, mobilize into a force that fights back for women's sports. So start fighting. The way that you do that is go to XX-XY athletics, go use the code Kelsey20 at checkout, slap on that gear, signal to the world that you are done allowing others to walk into female spaces. I believe in this brand. I believe in the mission. I believe in what they do. So go grab some now. I'm serious. Real solutions that truly heal, not just pacify our symptoms. If you care about real solutions for PTSD and mental illness, I need you to share this. I need you to speak up. I need you to be okay with being uncomfortable. You need to demand better. Because if you think this is not going to reach out and touch one of your family members at some point, you are delusion. You are living in delusion and are delusional. Because we cannot afford to keep losing lives to a system that refuses to change. So I say this in closing. Shame on you, Maclean's. Shame on you, Maclean's magazine. Your article only confirms what many of us already know. Real Canadian journalism is dead. So if you guys are enjoying this series, do yourself a favor. Go jump over to my Substack. Go subscribe. You don't have to join the paid, but if you can support it, I appreciate it. Our YouTube is currently being taken down, so that is fun. So go over to the Substack, subscribe there, go over to Spotify, give the podcast a rating. When you guys rate the show, it helps us immensely. We don't need anything from you other than a review. Go do that. Go share our content. It's free. I appreciate every single one of you, and I appreciate you guys listening to our series on MAID and the other episodes that we do on the Kelsey Sharon perspective. Do yourself a favor, go check out our amazing sponsors, Ketone IQ, as well as XXXY and Good Living. These are all companies I use daily, and these are all companies that help me be the best version of myself, and I know they will help you too. If you guys are looking for support or otherwise, and you are looking to move your life forward, feel free to DM me. We have slots available, and we are looking forward to bringing you into our community and showing you that you are not the thing that happened to you, but you can use it to create you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all on the next episode.